Shawshank Redemption cast breaks silence on what most fans never figured out. It's a film beloved by millions, quoted endlessly, and often ranked among the greatest movies of all time. But few know just how many secrets are hidden beneath the surface. Today, we're going deeper than ever before, pulling back the curtain on mysteries that even lifelong fans have never uncovered about the Shawshank Redemption. From cast confessions to on-set stories, subtle symbolism to creative decisions that almost changed everything, you're about to see Shawshank with brand new eyes. By the end, you'll never watch Andy and Red's journey the same way again. The film that almost didn't happen. Before we crack into revelations from the cast, let's talk about how close Shawshank came to never existing. When director Frank Darabont first approached Stephen King about adapting Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, King was hesitant. Not because he doubted Darabont, but because he saw the novella as inward, psychological, almost impossible to film. Yet King sold the rights for $1, giving Darabont enormous creative freedom. Tim Robbins, reflecting decades later, described this as a rare atmosphere on set. No big studio pressures, just artists committed to their vision. Frank had remarkable control, Robbins recalled, because no one thought the stakes were high. Morgan Freeman added, "It's incredible." The movie ranked #1 on IMDb started out as a quiet afterthought. This unusual beginning set the stage for Shawshank's transformation from overlooked project to cultural juggernaut, the prison that became a character. A huge part of Shawshank's authenticity comes from shooting at the Ohio State Reformatory, the real, imposing, recently shuttered prison in Mansfield, Ohio. Closed for inhumane conditions only 4 years prior, its bleakness seeped into everybody's performances. Clancy Brown, who played Captain Hadley, said, "Walking through those gates each day, you could feel the misery in the walls." That wasn't acting. The prison was a character itself. Tim Robbins would spend time between takes, sitting alone in the tiny cells, letting the claustrophobia get under his skin. Once the door closed, your brain went somewhere primal, he explained. Many extras were actually former inmates, recruited to lend authentic faces to background scenes. Frank Darabont wanted nothing short of realism, even aging the prison walls for scenes set across different decades. The characters behind the characters. What you see on screen is just the tip of the iceberg. Each actor built elaborate backstories for their roles. Morgan Freeman crafted an entire pre-prison life for Red. Not just the man convicted of murder, but someone who'd once run numbers, had power, then lost it all. "That's why Red recognized something different in Andy," Freeman said. "It's one man seeing another who's lost everything." Tim Robbins imagined 2 distinct versions of Andy Dufresne. The careful, methodical Andy in public, and the real Andy, revealed only in private moments, like when he played Mozart for the inmates. The subtle changes in posture and voice created a duality most never see, but always feel. James Whitmore, who played Brooks, based his heartbreaking portrait on his own father's struggles with depression. The iconic scene where Brooks feeds birds wasn't in the original script. It was Whitmore's idea, inspired by memories of his dad's lonely walks. That simple moment turned Brooks into one of the film's most unforgettable figures. What fans always miss: hidden meanings and visual motifs. The Shawshank Redemption is a story told in details, many hiding in plain sight. Tim Robbins revealed that throughout the film, Andy is often framed behind bars or through barriers, sometimes even in scenes outside his cell. It's a visual cue that Andy feels trapped by more than prison walls, by his innocence, his past, and his secret plans. Once you notice it, you'll never unsee it. During the iconic rooftop scene, where the inmates drink beer in the sun, Freeman says the symbolism is layered. It's not just about freedom. That's the moment Andy starts helping the guards with their finances. It's the birth of his double life, the first move in his escape plan. And in maybe the film's most quoted moment, Red declaring, "Get busy living or get busy dying," Clancy Brown revealed the phrase was posted on the production office wall, a constant reminder that every character faces a simple yet profound choice: hope or despair. The movie posters, a journey in 3 acts. No image is more iconic than the posters of Rita Hayworth, Marilyn Monroe, and Raquel Welch on Andy's wall. But according to Robbins, those weren't just for show or to hide the tunnel. They're a visual timeline. Rita stands for innocence and the 1940s, Marilyn for complexity and change, and Raquel for rebirth. Darabont described this progression as Andy peeling away civilization, preparing for escape and reinvention. The famous shot of that final poster flapping away isn't just a reveal, it's the final step in Andy's transformation. The weather is more than atmosphere. One of Shawshank's most subtle storytelling tools, the weather. As Morgan Freeman later pointed out, it's always raining in the darkest moments. The attacks on Andy, the warden's downfall, Tommy's murder. Andy's escape happens during a thunderstorm, the world at its most chaotic. Yet when Red finally finds Andy on the Mexican beach, it's the first time in the whole film we see bright, perfect sunshine. Visual language at its best. Freedom literally bringing light into the story. The scene that saved the film. Did you know the "Get Busy Living" bus scene, the moment Red decides to follow Andy, was a last-minute addition? Originally, the studio wanted an ambiguous ending, with Red riding the bus and the film cutting to black. But Frank Darabont sensed something vital was missing. Adding that scene didn't just close Andy's arc, it completed Red's story too. It's not only about breaking out of prison, but escaping the prison of fear and regret. Brooks, the heartbreak that almost wasn't. Brooks Hatlin's subplot, an old man unable to adjust after decades in prison, barely existed in King's original novella. But James Whitmore and Frank Darabont saw the power in giving Brooks a voice. It's his fate that sets up Red's ultimate decision, creating a heart-wrenching contrast between those imprisoned by walls and those imprisoned by their own minds. Darabont had to fight studio executives to keep these scenes. The warden's shocking origins. Bob Gunton's menacing Warden Norton was modeled in part on a real-life Midwestern prison official, a man notorious for his cruelty and hypocrisy, who put Bible verses on his walls while secretly fleecing the prison's finances. Knowing this gives the climax, Norton's unraveling as his facade collapses, an even more chilling edge. Redemption, more than just escape. So what does redemption mean in Shawshank? Robbins says it's much more than Andy digging his way to freedom. Andy redeems the place around him, the prisoners, the library, the yard. He brings hope and dignity where there was none. Morgan Freeman adds, redemption is found when Red finally stops lying to the parole board and speaks from the heart. This layered interpretation is why the film connects so deeply. It's about all the ways hope can survive, even in the darkest places. The ending that almost never was. The emotional reunion on the Mexican beach might be one of cinema's most uplifting finales, but it almost got cut. The studio wanted Red's bus ride to be the last shot. But Darabont insisted, it's not about hope as an idea, it's about hope fulfilled. The restrained chemistry in that beach scene is because it was shot before the actors built their friendship on set. The score, soundtrack of hope. Thomas Newman's music is a character in itself. Early prison scenes are scored with austere, almost mechanical music, but as Andy's hope grows, the music warms with him. The emotional peak? The Brooks Was Here sequence, where haunting melodies underscore Brooks's loneliness, making us feel the ache of freedom turned to loss. Reinvention, from flop to phenomenon. Shawshank bombed at the box office, overwhelmed by Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump. But when cable and VHS gave it new life, people watched again and again, spreading the word until Shawshank became comfort food for the soul. By the late 90s, it had transformed from commercial flop to cultural phenomenon, from prison to pilgrimage. The Ohio State Reformatory, once slated for demolition, is now a tourist magnet, drawing over 100,000 visitors yearly. Fans walk the same halls, peek into Andy's cell, even see the tunnel that wasn't real, but is now enshrined forever. Why Shawshank endures. 30 years on, what keeps audiences coming back? Morgan Freeman says, Shawshank speaks to something universal, the part of us that feels trapped, the longing for hope and freedom. Tim Robbins calls it a film that acknowledges how hard hope is, but how necessary. The Shawshank Redemption doesn't just entertain, it reflects our struggles, our dreams, and our capacity for transformation. Its brilliance lies in details, the settings, the character arcs, the music, and the gentle hand guiding each symbolic choice. More than a prison break, it's an exploration of what it means to be truly free. If you found value in this analysis, hit like, subscribe for more deep dives, and let us know in the comments, what is Shawshank's most powerful moment for you? Until next time, remember, get busy living or get busy dying.